Alright, this is Young Sheldon, episode 2. Review of Rockets, Communist, and the Dewey Decimal System.
And we are on our second listen of an Untroublesome Defense, a collaborative record from 2016 with Merzbow, Keiji Haino, and Hungarian drummer, whose name escapes me, Balázs Pándi. I've been a fan of Keiji Haino and Merzbow's work for a long time, and this is a particularly, improvisational, not so harsh effort. What'd you think of this episode here, bud?
I thought overall this episode was a little lackluster compared to the pilot.
The pilot, yes.
I mean, the pilot definitely had me feeling for Sheldon and his family.
Yeah.
And this one, you felt bad for his friend, but I didn't feel bad for Sheldon at all. If anything, I thought Sheldon was
kind of a jerk. Yeah.
He was
certainly.
He was surpassing him being a funny jerk because he's smart to just kind of being a dick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm really into Sheldon being a dick. I don't know. I like innocent.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm more interested in seeing. I'm not so interested in seeing Sheldon develop because Sheldon. We know how Sheldon develops, really, right? In the Big Bang Theory, you get the ending. You already know the ending. The ending is he gets a whole shitload of PhDs and whatever, right?
Yeah. If anything, there's no payoff of seeing this smart kid turn into a lovable character. When if anything, he's a bigger jerk in the conclusion.
Yeah, so I suppose in this episode in particular, yeah.
No, but even we want to talk about the Big Bang Theory, which is a great show.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
First season.
There's a reason it's been the #1 show in America for so long.
On Monday nights, Tuesday nights, every night. Big Bang Theory is the #1 show.
Every day of the week.
Chuck Lorre, I'd say he's pretty much the next Larry David.
Yeah, except Larry David only has the fucking 2 shows.
Yeah,
Chuck Lorre's got 2.5 Men. He's got Big Bang Theory. He's got Mike and Molly. He's got all this stuff. All this stuff. He did that marijuana fucking Netflix show.
Oh, Weeds?
No, not Weeds. That was
Weeds?
that's the Orange Is the New Black
Genji.
You got it. Some shit like that.
Yeah. What's the other one?
Let's get back on track here, though. The other one, it was the show that it was like a sitcom direct to Netflix about a woman who runs a dispensary. I want to say it was Roseanne Barr, but I think I might be wrong. Okay, it looks really awful, but
being pretty good.
Yeah, sorry, pretty good. It looked pretty good. So yeah,
I'll cut that up.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, this record is really interesting because generally Merzbow in particular he's not much of a formal musician. He's much more of a sonic sort of mastermind. He's Merzbow, for the uninformed, is considered sort of the god of noise music, of noise music that is intended to be sound, sound art.
And on that note, yes, young Sheldon is kind of the god of high school right now. He's 9 years old and
he's the Merzbow of his high school and wherever southern state they're from.
So this episode starts off with Sheldon's mom upset that he doesn't have any friends. So he gets a self-help book on how to make friends.
Yes, How to Make Friends and Influence People, which is a real book. I've read it. There's some solid advice in there.
And unfortunately, young Sheldon, he doesn't really understand how to properly make friends. And he ends up going through, which was a really good point made by his sister. His sister, phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
She says...
He goes to the cheerleaders and the jocks, and he finds ways to relate them. How'd you enjoy the sports program?
I like your boldly done makeup.
He says to the cheerleader, you're bold. Go Wolves. Go Wolves. Right?
So, one thing which young Sheldon mentions, which is very interesting, is he says that this is a narration by Jim Parsons, current Sheldon. Awesome addition to the show, having him as a narrator. Yeah. He says, science fact. Sisters suck. And I think that was a real funny
Sisters suck.
And one thing which is very tough about the show, since there's no laugh track, sometimes I don't know when to laugh. But luckily, Jim Parsons doing the narration, he will narrate and then have his signature Sheldon chuckle. So then we know when the funny part.
It was one of the most particularly funny parts of this episode I found where there was a moment where he says, I'm having, she was, his mom, I think, or his dad says, oh, Sheldon, you're having a hard time adjusting to high school. And he's kind of like, no, I'm having a hard time adjusting to Earth.
I think that's a good line.
That's a great line.
That sums up his character completely.
Yeah, it's a thesis statement of this character's struggle within the confines of the public education system.
Because even throughout the Big Bang Theory, we always had this other otherworldly, unhuman characteristic to Sheldon? Was he a
Absolutely.
robot? Was he an alien? What is he?
What is he?
What's he identify as? We don't know.
We absolutely know.
And I think it's interesting to see this concept still be so prevalent in young Sheldon.
Yeah. And in his efforts to try and relate, and this was the funniest part of the episode, there's these two sort of rocker, sort of 80s rocker kind of guys. One of them's got a Van Halen, I believe Van Halen 2, the second record, t-shirt on. And they're in the bathroom, sort of smoking out of the window, and he says, as much as I dislike that oddly smelling cigarette, I applaud you for your rule breaking.
Rule-breaking bravado.
Bravado.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
And the guys, the punk guys, they were taken aback and thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was. I don't know why young Sheldon actually didn't try and foster a friendship with these stoner types.
Because I think that would be a young Sheldon sub episode. I'd be interested in watching.
For sure. I mean, he's 9, and I'm not sure how much a network television would like to show a 9-year-old smoking marijuana. That being said, marijuana has come a long way in the last couple
I
years.
think it's legalizing pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere.
I think marijuana is going to be. I think it's going to be like a prohibition again, except marijuana will be legal and
Alcohol.
everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to take the cigarettes away from us. They're going to take our guns away and our cigarettes and our booze.
We don't want to talk about that yet.
No, that's episode 5.
We'll wait a bit.
Yeah.
And then to close this episode off, he finally has a friend from Vietnam, and the writers took no hostages.
Yeah,
They really went for it. And
Yeah.
they pushed the limits with some Rambo jokes.
Yeah.
Talking about a hot sauce because the kid from Vietnam. He's saying when he was escaping the country, he had to eat rats and pigeons.
Yeah.
And then Sheldon's brother, he's the funniest character. He says, "That sounds like a job for hot sauce."
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It's a good line. And then the FBI comes.
The FBI comes because
Sheldon tried to get
uranium from Canada. Yeah.
Canada, eh?
Yeah, hey. That being said, this record here, this album that I'm listening to right now, for the second time, it's really held together by the drummer, whose music I haven't explored, but I certainly would like to based on this, because Keiji Haino and Merzbow are very free. They're very free musicians. Keiji Haino, in particular, enjoys doing long stretches of sort of harsh vocals. And as far as I recall on my first listen, there are no vocals on this record, and Keiji is just shredding guitar in this sort of sporadic, kind of loose, atonal, but still kind of riffy and high energy, and doing responsive stuff to this drummer who's just holding down this sort of musical context. I don't know what to call this. It's not avant-garde because it's not composed. It's very clearly, I guess it would be free improvisational noise rock, I suppose. But it's slow. It's not. There's no blast beats on this record. This is a methodical 10-minute
relatively
build
easy
there.
listening.
It is. Yeah. This is considering the musicians involved.
This is
absolutely.
This is music. This is clearly music.
Merzbow exists almost just to give it texture and build and fall and give it sort of almost a sonic narrative.
And then at the end of the episode, the rocket shoots through the window and the FBI.
Well, the FBI is there.
The FBI's there.
And they are unhappy, and then it just boom.